Hello and welcome to Loopie. This video is all about making flatter rides look good. The lumpier the ride, the better the Loopie will look, but as we don't all cycle in the Alps, I'm going to show you a few tips and techniques to get the most out of even the flatter rides. So let me just load one up for you. So this is it's a fairly short ride, just sort of 48, 49 kilometers. And as you'll see, you can see the route and the terrain's marked, but there's nothing really that stands out as being that exciting and interesting, even though it might have been a tough route at this scale. Sometimes it's quite hard to see some of the climbs that you did or some of the little hills. So the first thing that I do to try and get the best looking Loopie is to just rotate it. Try and find the best angle that the Loopie looks good at. You can use the tools down the left hand side, so you've got the rotate slider there, but I find the best way is just to click directly onto the Loopie and with the left mouse button click and rotate, and you can rotate and drag the Loopie all the way around and keep dragging until you find something that looks pretty interesting. The right mouse button, if you click that, moves the Loopie left and right, up and down, and the scroll wheel in the middle zooms in and out. So combinations of that, you can sort of very quickly find a composition or find an angle for your Loopie that starts to look quite interesting. It's still looking quite flat, so I'll settle for this for the moment. I next want to go to the Advanced tab, and this has all of the tools that can really help lift your Loopie. The first slider is the mountain scale, and as that suggests really, sliding it to the left reduces the height of the terrain, and all the way to the right then emphasises the terrain. And because this is a fairly flat route, I'm going to keep the slider all the way to the right, and you can instantly see some of the smaller bumps and lumps in the terrain are now looking much more dramatic and starts to look similar to how the ride was feeling, to be honest. So I think I'll stick with something like that. And now we've done that, I'd also like to give the route a bit more of a rotate. And actually from the opposite angle, we can see on the climbs, this sort of nice little kink there and climb up. So I want to kind of accentuate that. And also to get the best view of your route, try and have some elements in the foreground and some elements far off in the background. And that gives a nice sense of perspective, and it kind of draws your eye into the picture. So if I have a bit more of a tweak here, I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. That's it. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. It's an interesting shape. You can make out lots of the terrain that you cycled around, and starting to look quite interesting. The other two sliders, we can also adjust the size of the dots. Might make them slightly bigger. There we go, and also play around with the line height. So that's probably too fat, but somewhere like that. It's a nice splash of colour. You can kind of clearly see the route that you've ridden. The next part is to place the data tab. So again, in the data box, the move icon appears. Just click that, and then you can move the data box anywhere you like within the image. So that's a natural clear space for it to go, and then you can click on any of the text and click and select, and then rename to anything that you want. In this case, Sunday ride. There we go, and that's looking pretty good. In the data tab, you can't rotate and edit the image or move the image, but just click back on the move tab, and then you can just tweak and readjust the Loopie. So you'll see that it always defaults to show you the start and end location, but I want to add another couple of markers here. So go back to the data tab again, and when I roll over the line, you'll see the little crosshairs showing you how far into the route a particular point was. And this is really useful for pinpointing key locations that you want to highlight. So just on this one here, about 34k in, I'm going to write KON, because because I was pretty impressed with my time there. If I look at the stats tab, I want to keep all of that, and then positioning, it defaults to auto place, but just to make sure it's exactly where I want it to appear to the left of the loopy line. So I'm just going to override that and click left and then confirm, and there you can see the label KOM with 34 kilometers, the time and the elevation. And one last label, I know that there was a cafe here at the 9 kilometer mark, so I'll just add cafe and keep all the stats. In fact, the elevation is quite low, so I'm going to turn off the elevation so only show the distance and the time, and then I want it to appear to the left of the loopy line. So again, click left and confirm that, and there it appears. If I go back to the Move tab and tweak the angle of the image, the labels still stay where they are, so you can really rotate and still keep making composition decisions right to the very end. Okay, just move that slightly over there. There we go, I think that's looking pretty good. So considering how it looked when it first loaded, how it looks now, I think you've got quite a nice looking loopy. I'll just want to preview this. There we go. This shows your loopy in a frame, and you can see it against different coloured backgrounds. So there's a dark background, sort of mid-tone background, and a light background. So you can make some fairly basic decisions about, will that loopy look good in your house? If you're happy with that, just click the Order Now button and it'll take you through to be able to order it. Or if you want to make any further changes, click the back button and it takes you back to the editor where you can start making a few more tweaks. But I hope that video has just shown you some of the techniques and tips that you can use on some of the flatter rides to give yourself a really great looking loopy. Thank you.